Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear student, this is Rustam and today I am going to record another video on our course History of English Literature. In my two previous lectures, first I talked about invasion of England and I just demonstrated the routes which were taken up by Germanic tribes. Later on I talked about Old English period. Now we are I'm going to discuss Middle English period, which is also known as Anglo-Norman period, and it starts with the invasion of England by Normans. So please have a look at this map. As you can see here, this is England, okay, and here is shown English Channel, which is part of Atlantic Ocean, and here is North Sea. So France lies somewhere here to the south of English Channel, and this area is known as Normandy. It is about 75 kilometers from English Channel. So here lived a duke known as Duke of Normandy. The name was William the Conqueror. So he attacked England in 1066. Battle of Hastings, as you can see, this is the place, Hastings, and he attacked here, and at that time England was being ruled by Harold. Harold was the last of Anglo-Saxon kings. So Harold was defeated at the Battle of Hastings in 1066 AD. So this way Normans made England their stronghold and started ruling it. So from 1066 AD up to 1204 AD, that is around about 2 centuries, you can say, rather this period of time, the Normans not only ruled England, they also had links with Normandy or France. So this way, the ruler who ruled here in England, he had also some connection with back in England. But in 1204 AD, so Normandy was these kings, Normans who lived here, they lost Normandy. Now they turned to assimilate themselves in England properly. So while Normans ruled England from 1066 to 1204, so the French language was the language which was spoken during this period. So the new nobility replaced English nobility. Nobility means the high-ups. So some of the high-ups were killed at Battle of Hastings on the battlefield, and some who remained there, they were declared as traitors. So gradually all were replaced, and people who migrated from Normandy to England, they were given the status of the nobility. So this nobility in England spoke French. So French was the language of upper classes, the language of court, universities, transactions, etc. The ecclesiastical figures, that is the clergy, the priest, etc., the religious leaders, they spoke Latin. They used Latin. And English was relegated to an obscurity, an obscure place, and it was just spoken by a few common people. So during this period, as you can see here, English did not have any place in England life. However, after Normans lost Normandy, so they turned towards English, and they started speaking English. So around about 1250, you can say, or during the 13th century, English got its hold back. So the literature we are going to study, which is known as medieval literature or Middle English period. So this period, this literature, you can say, was written just during this period, from this to this. So this was in this video, because time is very short, I've got only 15 minutes. The duration of this video is 15 minutes. So I'm not gonna go into detail about everything. It is just a cursory look at the events. So as a BS English first year students, you must remember this date. This is the conquest of England in 1066. From this period of time up to this is known as Middle English period. Even during the 15th century, that is from 14 to 15, that century can also be included in Middle English period, but that is usually that period is termed as barren or infertile century, because no work, no literature was created during that century. So what type of literature existed during this period? So poetry as well as drama. So these were two genres, or you can say two subcategories of literature. As far as romances or poetry is concerned, one genre which was quite in during Middle Ages or medieval literature, this was romances. A romance is a chivalric type of story or narrative, and at that time 3 story cycles were very popular. One was the Matter of Britain, and these were the legends related to King Arthur. King Arthur was a Celtic king who fought against Anglo-Saxons when they invaded England in 5th century. So he was an heroic figure, and there were many tales and legends related to King Arthur. So people just modified those stories, and they put them into writing again and again. So another cycle was the Matter of France. These were tales or legends related to Charlemagne. Charlemagne was a French heroic figure. So he, I think, fought against Muslims during crusades. So there were many heroic deeds attributed to him, and many tales were created around this, the exploits of Charlemagne. The third story cycle was known as Matter of Rome. There was a rich treasure of stories, because story of Troy was a very evergreen story. Trojan horse and siege of Troy. Troy, it's a long tale. I will someday go into it. So it's a very old tale. Even Homer wrote about it 8 centuries before Jesus Christ. So stories related to Troy, like heroes who fought during the 10 years of siege of Troy. So one was the Greek army, and another was Trojan army, and there was a long fight between the two armies in order to retrieve Helen, because Greeks wanted Helen of Troy back, and Trojans, they were persistent not to give place to Greeks. Another important figure is Alexander the Great. He was also a heroic figure. So these three characters are historical figures: King Arthur, Charlemagne, and Alexander the Great, and the stuff related to Troy. So they were the topic of all the romances. So romance is a narrative tale in which knights are there, fights are there, chivalric deeds are there, etc. Now coming to other poets of Middle Ages, Middle English period, 3 names shine. One was John Gower. He wrote Confession Mantis. Others, works are also there, but I'm quickly touching all this. William Langland, okay, he wrote Vision of Piers the Plowman, and Geoffrey Chaucer. So Geoffrey Chaucer had 3 period in history. One was French, when he imitated French models. So he wrote A Romance of the Rose and the Book of Duchess. Then he was influenced by Italian models, particularly Boccaccio and Dante and Petrarch to some extent. So he wrote A Parliament of Fowls and House of Fame, and last stage was English period, that is Legend of Good Women and Canterbury Tales. Let me quickly cover Canterbury Tales before, and then I'm gonna talk about, before I move into Canterbury Tales, let me cover another piece of literature during Middle Ages, that is drama. So drama had got three categories: mystery plays, miracle plays, morality plays. Mystery plays, there's a long history of drama, because initially drama was in the hands of clergy. It started from church servers. Later on, as character and locale was introduced, so it came out of the pulpit and came into the churchyard and then out into the street. But it had a religious origin. So in mystery plays, scripture matter was dealt with, like fall of man, creation of the universe, fall of man, crucifixion of the Messiah, and Exodus, and anything taken by from the Bible. Then miracle plays, they dealt with non-scripture matters like lives of saints. Okay, and then morality plays, which demonstrated abstract virtues and vices. And this was the drama popular in Middle English period. And there are many people who wrote these plays. Now quickly I would like to touch upon Canterbury Days. So Canterbury Days, Canterbury is actually the name of a place where there is a shrine of Saint Thomas a Becket. So every year people visited this shrine, and it was a kind of pilgrimage. So once there were 30 pilgrims who came to who wanted to visit this shrine. So they reached Tabard Inn. This is pronounced in a different way, like some people pronounce it Tabard Inn and some say Tabard Inn. It is now up to you how you pronounce it. It is located near London. So the host or the owner of this Tabard Inn was Harry Bailey. So when he saw 30 pilgrims who represented, different cross sections of English life, like there were people from church, ecclesiastical characters like priors, the monk, the friar, parson, summoner, the partner, and there was a merchant class as a mercantile class, the doctor, lawyer, municipal, the merchant, wife of Bath, etc. And then people representing agriculture, like feudalism, the knight, the squire, yeoman, the miller, the plowman, the franklin, the reeve, and few other characters were there which I just didn't mention here. So a cross section of society was represented in these days. So the host suggested that we should every pilgrim should narrate 2 stories on the way to Canterbury and on the way back to Canterbury. So the person, the pilgrim who narrates the best story, he will be exempted from paying the charge of staying at Tabard Inn. So this is how these tales were composed. There are not many tales, but it's a very good composition of compilation of stories, and it's a sort of drama as well, a play as well, because it is narrative poetry. It is a drama on the stage. It's a kind of novel, because there are so many stories, beautiful stories in this book written by Geoffrey Chaucer. So I'll soon discuss Geoffrey Chaucer in a complete lecture, but here I just wanted to give overview of Norman Conquest and the period, the literature created after Norman Conquest in England. So as a starter or warm-up, you must know that Middle English period is also known as medieval literature or Anglo-Norman period, and this roughly starts from 1066 up to 1400. So during this period, romances were very popular, and then other poetry people who wrote during this time, they were poets like John Gower, who was a kind of moralist. He didactic poetry, and then William Langland, and then Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer was a true artist. He is also known as father of English poetry. And plays were also famous during this period, and the 3 types of plays existed there. Also there were other 4th type of play was also there, that is interlude, but these were the popular pieces of literature. Thank you very much, and now stay tuned for the next lecture. That will be a detailed lecture. So this was an overview of Norman Conquest.